Hi, I'm Jeff Altman, the big game hunter. I'm referred to as the big game hunter because I coach people to play their professional and personal games big. You know, every once in a while, actually, it's more than once in a while, I'm asked for my thoughts about where things are going, where the economy is going, where the job market is going. And I generally duck the question because I don't live with a crystal ball, but I do have some thoughts. And I've spent some time recently trying to think about it because I think it's good for all of us to kind of think ahead and plan ahead and to do it in ways that are relatively safe and risk-free. At times when we're not in crisis, when there are times where the economy is not in bad shape, where things are actually pretty good, and to start thinking ahead to what will happen. Now, for some time now, I've been warning job hunters that the next recession is coming. And I've continued to say, I don't know when, but it's going to be coming. So I'll simply say for the short term, you should be building your network for the inevitability of there being another recession. I'm not saying it's going to be a bad one. I'm not blaming anyone for it. This is not a political statement. It's just there will be more recessions. And one of the things that will help you is having a good network in place. After all, 70% of all positions are filled through networking, and 70% of those 70%, or almost half, are filled as a result of introductions that are made by people in your immediate network to people that you don't already know. So you want to be building and maintaining your network during the time that you don't need it. Now, here's the job market stuff. For some time now, there has been a move toward temporary labor. Certainly in the blue-collar world, that's been the case for a long time. There are contractors, and the contractors hire people to do work in your home, and that's just the way that market is. There are people who work in blue-collar roles who are employed by small businesses, and their jobs may be interchangeable with one another. The small business needs a new person. They bring them in temporarily. The big business may need a new white-collar person. They bring them temporarily. Maybe there's a maternity leave. Maybe there's a short-term surge in demand within their firm. They bring in people temporarily. Here's where I think we're going, and the path is actually pretty obvious, and that is what's nicknamed the Uberization of the American economy, with labor being in demand. With the demand labor market is probably the better way to phrase it, being what the prevalent part of the marketplace will be. Now, this isn't to say that all CEOs are going to be firing their entire workforce and treating them like temporary labor. No, but even the CEO of a firm can be interim labor these days. And who's to say that your job is not disposable? Well, I'm important. They need me around here. Well, there's someone out there who can do it for less, who can do temporary work that they don't have to pay benefits for, and will do it in a heartbeat if you got sick, right? So who's to say that they couldn't just replace you? So let me just simply say, and this isn't about scaring you, the tactic that you have to start thinking of in terms of building your network is also about branding yourself as exceptional person in the kind of work that you do. After all, if a person does a great job and no one knows about it, then the person do a great job. If a tree falls in the woods and and no one hears it thud, did it make a sound? Well, at the end of the day, you have to start promoting yourself and building your brand. Building your reputation as being exceptional. If you're in fields where writing or public speaking can be valuable for you, you do it. You look for avenues to do it. You create podcasts, videos, whole host of content. You treat LinkedIn like a portal for all your work. And then from there, have people be able to discover it. Maybe you have a presentation as a PowerPoint that you put on SlideShare that links to your LinkedIn profile. Remember, LinkedIn owns SlideShare these days. You create videos about how to do something exceptionally well. You do webinars, screencasts, a whole host of different things that are designed to demonstrate your expertise and to show you in venues where you're exceptional and you're leading. You don't have to do this internationally. You can do it within your specific market area. If you're a New Yorker, you can do it in the New York metro area. Dallas, the same thing, on and on. But you need to get actively involved in your career, because there will come a crisis. Like, it's going to build, and then one day it's just going to explode. In recruiting, there's the master service provider concept, where firms would rather work through such a technology or an organization that creates technology, have that firm manage the relationships with all the recruiting firms through the technology, have one source of billing that they have to pay instead of thousands. That firm takes a piece of the deal for providing, a fundamental forum, and the result has wound up being recruiters in many cases are accepting less on the dollar for the opportunity to do a placement. Matter of fact, there are recruiters who will split fees with other recruiters in order to do the placement and wind up with 47.5% of the fee. Why are you any different? Seriously. Why are your circumstances different that your job can't be outsourced? Well, I do this kind of good technology work. I'm a great accountant. My engineer, I just was working on something for a new site that I'm developing. I'm looking for a video editor. And I put up the listing on a website, and I got 38 proposals to do the work for $2 to $5 an hour. Obviously, these people aren't in the United States. There's a lot of things that you're doing that can be done outside the United States. There are a lot of things that are being done that can be done less expensively in the United States. Remember, I'm not being threatening here. I'm just simply saying the way to contend with this is to turn yourself into the valuable individual that firms must have. They have to have you. You're the one in demand because you have a reputation that makes them look good to have you around. And you can't play small. You've got to really get out there and play big. So that's how I'm seeing things going forward. If you disagree, it's okay. Leave a comment down below. If you agree, it's the other way. Click the like button over there. Let people know that this was worthwhile. But regardless, leave a comment. Share this with other people. It's going to become hellish in the next 10 years. And you shouldn't be surprised. It's pretty obvious that things are changing. I'm Jeff Altman. Hope you find this helpful. My website is thebiggamehunter.us. There's a lot there that you can watch, listen to, or read to help you find work more quickly. And if we're not connected on LinkedIn, send a connection request to me at linkedin.com/IN/thebiggamehunter. I'm Jeff Altman. Have a great day. Take care.